Well, after 4 months, I'm finally ready to ship. This box has last year's units in it. I'll ship those out tomorrow. Those got the new firmware, and I added battery voltage monitoring or battery power monitoring, which I'll show you in just a second. And then this is the 14 new units that make up the next fleet, or flock if you're trying avian humor. But I'll ship those out later this week. We have the Perch top. The Perch top is the same as last year. Have the bracket to mount it to the top of a 4x4 post. Got some screws here I'll send out that you can use 2 or 3 of the holes on each side to mount it to the top of the post. And the waterproof cable that you can bury or do whatever you want with. Some cable ties to strap it to the post. But 14 of those I'll box those up and ship them out. Like I say, I didn't change anything on that design, so that should be the same. Then the solar panel. The solar panel, I did go to the 5-watt panel from the 2.5-watt panel. So it's double the size, basically doubling our power source. I'm hoping that will kill the dead battery scenario we had on a couple of units last year. I also did find an issue with a couple of last year's units that would cause them to go dead. So I don't know if that was the issue, but either way, between that fix and going to a larger solar panel, I hope we never have a dead battery issue again. Because that panel's larger, I did have to change the solar panel holder. So if you can see that this one's wider. The old solar panel holder was within the width of the box. Now it's a little wider than the box. I struggled a little bit with, do I make it centered on the box? I decided to overhang it on the side with the connectors and the buttons to provide a little protection for these buttons from accidentally being pressed by something, but I don't know. In some ways I don't like that it's not centered. The square engineer side of me wants it to be centered, but I also thought if you're going to strap this to a post, it might be nice to have this side straight so you can strap it to something, but whatever. We can change that if you don't like it. I did mark these as revision 3 because they have some new features, which I'll talk about. Some of them I implemented on last year's version as well. But that's the box. They operate very similar to last year. A couple things that are different. When you power it on, it's going to still do the high. It also shows the battery level now. So that's 92%. This battery's at 92%. It runs through the tare. It's going to show the time next. 1812 is the time in military, and then it's going to show the weight. Right now there's no transducer hooked up, so it wanders a little bit around. But that new displaying of the battery level at power up is a new feature that both last year's and this year's will now do. So this one, same thing, powered on. This one's at 100%. I did try to charge them all before I send them. That one must not have got quite fully charged, but they should be pretty good. And with the new larger solar panel, they should charge up pretty quickly. Other features I introduced this year, I did also find a way to reduce the power supply or the power consumption by about 10%. So I implemented that on all the new ones. The old ones I couldn't implement that on because of inaccessibility to the regulator that I needed access to. But all the new ones have about 10% less power consumption. I also made it so that after a minute of a bird being perched, it stops displaying the weight on the screen. So it no longer shows the weight after a minute. It will show it for that first minute and then go away to save power because the display is the largest power consumption module of this whole unit. So that's a change that's on the old ones and the new ones. And like I say, I added that battery monitor. What else did I add? And then I also added a summary file, which I'll show you as well. So last year, every time a bird landed, there'd be an entry every 15 seconds, and when there wasn't a bird present, there'd be an entry every 1 hour. Now there's also a separate file called summary, which just shows the event when a bird lands to when it leaves, what's the average weight over that period, the time and date. So each row in the file represents one bird event. So, show you a quick use of the new scale. It's, like I say, pretty much the same as last year. You're going to connect your solar panel just like last year. You're going to slide it in, connect it here. I'm not going to do that. Then you're going to connect your transducer, your perch top, to the connector on the side labeled transducer. Then you're going to press the power button. It's going to power on. It's going to show that battery charge level. It's going to tare the unit, which you want to do with nothing on the perch. And then it's going to show you the time. And then it's going to show you the weight. As last year, you'll have to calibrate each of them when you get them. To do that, you're going to press the tare cal button for 3 seconds. After 3 seconds, it'll show tare. It's going to re-tare. And then it's going to show cal. You'll place the known weight on there of 3.5 kilograms. Once you're done with that, you'll press the tare cal button again. It'll display calibrated, or CALD for short. Once it's done, it'll start to measure weight, and it should show the 3.5 kilograms, which it did. And now you're calibrated, ready to roll. Take the known weight off, and the scale is ready for use. Like I mentioned, there is an additional file now on the SD card. So if you open this up and take out the SD card, I've already got one in my computer, but I'll take it out to show you. I think you know how to do this. You're going to take the cover off. Remove the SD card from here. Pull it out. Again, same as last year, the contacts are up if you're putting it back in. Insert it. The new circuit board's version 3 is blue to show the difference. But then once you've inserted that card into your computer, you're going to see 2 files on here now. Data log is the file that's kept like last year, where it's every hour if there's no bird present and every 30 seconds if there is a bird present. And then summary file is just 1 row per bird landing and departure event. So this should be much more concise and easier file to look at. Each row represents or shows the time and date when the bird landed and left, and its average weight while it was on the scale. So that's going to be a nice, hopefully convenient file for simplifying looking at the data from the scales. What else? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'll be shipping these out this week, and they should get to you later this week or early next week. I'll send you some tracking numbers, but let me know if you have any questions. I think that's it.